Welcome back, everybody. Again, this is Bob Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com, our online news site. Thank you for your service.us, and Anna Sophie Hickson behind the camera. And we're here, part 2 of a series with Rick Roberts, team leader for the Babil Reconstruction Team, and he is a State Department Foreign Service officer. And we're talking about different projects. Rick, why don't you go ahead and what next category do you want to talk about?
Well, why don't we talk about the local governance program?
Okay, let's talk about that. And we have a list of good projects that you're all doing. It's just amazing hearing all this. Go ahead.
Well, I think the local governance program is particularly worth talking about. This is something that's done through USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, and their contractor, which is RTI. And basically what this program does is help teach the local government, both the governor and the PC, the provincial council, which is the equivalent of a state legislature, how to function as an democratically elected government. So it's gone through all the fundamentals of the Constitution, the Iraqi Constitution, explaining it to them, helping them understand a special provision that's called Law 21, which is the Provincial Powers Act. So they've got an understanding of what their responsibilities are, what their abilities are, what their limitations are, and this has helped this particular province truly move in very dramatic fashion in terms of political development. They were among the first to develop a provincial-wide development strategy. They're among the leaders in terms of responding to the federal government in terms of the relationships between them. So it's been a very fruitful exercise. And one of the things I'm most impressed with is of their own regard, they have had the instructors from LGP come in and they start every provincial council session with a 20-minute lesson about some aspect of the Provincial Powers Act or some other aspect of the Constitution. So that shows their commitment to really mastering the democratic governance process.
Great. Before we went back on the air, I'd asked you about, are you getting like school supplies, backpacks from people back in America?
We've actually had some very good programs linking schools here and American schools so that they could communicate via Skype, and then those schools would follow up by sending gifts of school supplies and things like that. There was one very particularly moving story I'd like to share with you about when we were going to a school to deliver some of those supplies. And I don't know if your viewers realize this, but when we move around in Iraq, we travel in what are called MRAPs, mine-resistant ambush preventive vehicles, which are these huge armored truck-like vehicles. And of course, we all travel with 20 or 30 of our most heavily armed close friends. So we can be quite intimidating when we pull up in front of some place, even though we're on a very peaceful mission. And we pulled up at this school, and there was a small boy, an Iraqi boy who was probably 8 or 9 years old, and he was literally petrified. He was frozen in place, trembling. His eyes were like saucers, scared to death. And I went up to him and I spoke to him in Arabic, and he couldn't talk at first. And finally he was able to say, khawf, which is Arabic for I'm afraid, I'm afraid. And we told him he doesn't have to be afraid. We spent a little bit more time. And finally he said he was afraid that we were going to attack the school. That's why we were there. So we told him we weren't there, and in fact gave him some of our Arabic books. And he began to realize that we were there not to cause trouble, but to bring things to the school to benefit them. And he was able to move along. It was a very touching moment. And again, that's the sort of thing, the reinforcement you get from this kind of job that we do.
It's a pretty powerful story. And you mentioned earlier also you have another education project you're working on.
That's true. We've been working with an organization called the One Laptop Per Child. Normally they operate in a way where they literally try to put a laptop computer into the hands of every child. Considering the numbers of students in this province alone, that would have been a monumental task. So we were able to get them to cooperate with us to help us put a laptop lab into a select number of schools. We couldn't do every school, but we did a little over 100. And still in process, we haven't implemented all those yet, but there will be 100 computer labs in secondary schools. here in Babil Province, where the students will be able to learn both basic computer skills, language teaching possibilities, and able to, again, to fulfill their education in a way that puts them in line with the 21st century economic demand.
Will internet follow? Is that in the works or plans? Or?
There's internet here. There's probably a tremendous investment opportunity for someone who can come in and improve internet.
Like a big internet company.
Yeah, it's that's one economic development project I wish we could have done because they desperately need good internet service here.
Okay. You talked also about restoring Babylon. With the history here, all really major religions. I'm sure that's of interest to a lot of people.
Well, I have to admit, personally, Babylon is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah,
Before I became a Foreign Service officer, I was an archaeologist, so it's something I have a lot of personal as well as professional interest in. The site itself, it's an ancient site that was in fairly good condition for an archaeological site. Then in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein came in and restored it. And his restoration is a form of destruction. And so the site has suffered greatly because of this. What he did was basically reconstruct the walls of Babylon using modern materials, which are weighing down on those fragile remnants of walls that were there from 5,000 years ago. And there's a price to be paid for that. There are other increasing, part of the development of the province is that, as agriculture has expanded, more and more of the ground around the site itself is under agricultural production, and so water runoff has become a major problem. And ancient Babylon was built out of mud, sun-dried brick. It wasn't fired, it was sun-dried adobe like you find in the Southwest. So water and adobe is not a good mix. So we're dealing with issues of stabilization resulting from the increasing water table plus the weight of the modern reconstruction. It's still an amazing site, despite the destruction that has happened to it. And it's a site in which we've invested a significant amount of money. As I say, the potential for tourism is almost unmatched here. We're helping with restore the museum at the site. We're putting in some public restrooms. We're helping restore the Greek theater, which used to be the scene of a major cultural festival every year in Babylon, and they hope to restore that and begin again this October. So we're assisting them with that. I think long-term this is a project, it's my fervent hope that in a few years as Iraq becomes a very stable and secure country, that many Americans will have the opportunity to come and visit Babylon and experience that it's an amazing site.
Yeah. I have said each time I come here that I'd like to come back here one day, no body armor, no helmet, don't have to have any escorts, and just enjoy it and be a tourist.
That's true.
Yeah, definitely. You also had mentioned there was other construction projects that you are working on.
Well, we've been, I mentioned the schools that we've built,
Okay.
but we've also been installing water compact units. These are to help produce clean drinking water for people in villages around the province. We've installed about 100 of those. I guess it's about 98 is the actual number. And they average around $1 million. They can be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending upon circumstances. But this is a way of helping the people get clean drinking water. Also, as part of the construction process, we've also, and this ties into our capacity building, we've done construction planning. This is something new. Most construction here is done almost ad hoc. Let's build a sewer here, or let's build a grid over there, or whatever. We've helped teach them how to develop a master plan, and we've helped them develop a master plan for the next 25 years for water and sewerage in this province. So it's a plan that can be done in as few as 5 or as many as 25. It will require billions of dollars of investment, but it is a coherent development plan, something that they've never had before.
Okay. Is there anything more you'd like to share, or maybe a few minutes we have left on this segment, or we can go into a new one too?
Well, I'd like to say, as I mentioned at the beginning, that the military that we work with are fantastic people. The men and women of our military are true heroes, and they do an incredible job every day. But I hope the people back home will remember that there are civilians here. There are State Department and Department of Agriculture, Department of Treasury, Department of Justice, a lot of federal agencies represented here. And we're all here as volunteers. Because, this is important work. It's work that needs to be done. And we feel that we have the skills to do it. And I hope they'll remember us as they remember our troops in their prayers and thoughts.
So if people back home want to help, how can they find a way to help or contact them?
Well, if people would like to contribute, for example, school supplies and that sort of thing, they can contact the PRTs. You can find us through the embassy website, which is, I should know the embassy website, but
U.S. Embassy, Iraq.
U.S. Embassy Iraq. You can Google it.
Okay.
U.S. Embassy Iraq or U.S. Embassy Baghdad. Look for the PRT page, and they can contact us directly. That sort of thing is always welcome. Anything they would like to contribute in that regard. So just send a letter once in a while saying that's always welcome too.
So you can benefit from care packages and letters too.
Well, I didn't want to ask for care packages, but letters are nice.
Okay.
Letters are nice.
It's okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you very much. Looking forward to maybe coming back next year sometime and doing some more extensive going out to see the projects with you.
Well,
that'd be great.
We'd love to have you here, and you can see some amazing things in Babil Province.
I was hoping to go out with you this time, but we have 2 more brigades waiting for us. So, well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Once again, folks, we're here at the Babil Reconstruction Team in Iraq. I'm Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com, and let other people know about this video. Thank you.